proof that Uber's ripping off drivers and passengers on airport trips?
I did a good study on this. Were you able to sync my screenshots?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think so.
Well, it was pretty simple. Yeah, if you synced the 1 hour of trips coming in when we did our more perfect union test, then I think you can do this. Okay, so this is the
Go ahead.
Okay, this is the famous horseshoe at the LAX. This is the Roach Motel, where you can't get in and you can't get out. This is it.
It looks like a very confusing manual car.
This was built in 1961. So here it is, folks. If you're an LA driver, you've been here many times, like I have. There have been days, Chris, during holidays, specifically before the days where they had LA Exit, where we used to drop off and pick up at departures. So LAX is built on 2 levels. Bottom level is arrivals, top level is departures. So nobody other than TCPs can pick up at arrivals. If you're X, Comfort, whatever the heck you are, you need to pick up. You used to pick up at departures. Chris, imagine at Thanksgiving, the horseshoe, by the way, the whole thing is like a horseshoe, and it's literally half a mile long, Chris. Maybe not even more than half a mile long, okay? So you enter at 1, you exit at 8. Well, 8 is way past it, so 7. Let's go with 7. So 1 is Southwest, 2 is Delta, 3 is Delta, and many others in between, obviously. B is for Tom Bradley. That's the international airport. 4, 5, American, but then you have Alaska's and all these other ones. 6 is, let's go, actually 6 is Alaska. 7 is United. I'm just giving you the main names for these terminals, okay? There are all these other airliners are in between, lined up. Literally, they're like door after door. All the airlines are represented, okay? So you enter at 1. There are 2 cutoffs between 1 and 7 and between 3 and 5. Cutoffs sometimes are slower than going around. So here's a trick. If you're an LAX driver, when you turn on your Google Maps, the inside line shows you the traffic. Obviously, hopefully you have your traffic turned on, shows you if it's green or red. The outside line is the arrival level. So you have nothing to do with arrivals. Although, once in a while, what I used to do is, if the rider is on a rush, I would tell him, listen, upstairs is absolute clusterfuck, and you're going to, American, we have to go all the way through the horseshoe to get there. You're going to miss your flight. And I would look at the bottom, arrivals. I would go drop them off at arrivals. All they had to do was take an elevator to departures. Once in a while, you take the bullet and you get a great tip out of it because you just haven't made their flight. However, there was an article about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, that came out. They have not responded to me yet, which is kind of surprising. They said that they tested this, and you said you were going to test it because Buffalo Airport, all the terminals are side by side. Did you test it?
What?
Did you test it at Buffalo Airport?
The terminal?
Yeah, at the Buffalo. Yeah, just
I forgot all about it.
Okay, well, next week it's your turn. So all I did was, folks, FYI, if as a rider you order a trip going to LAX and you don't specifically put in your terminal that you're going, where do you think, Chris, Uber will put your PIN, your drop-off PIN, automatically, if you do not specify a terminal?
The furthest away.
At B, actually, which is Bradley, which is the deep end of the horseshoe, automatically. So that automatically rips the rider off from the get-go. So what did I do? I have so much time in my hands. At the same time of the day, I took screenshots of a trip I ordered from where I was to LAX. 1, 2, 3, and here they are. No, you didn't sync him, bro. You should have synced Uber and Lyft. Anyway. Oh. Okay. All right. So here we go. The first one is...
Sync. You just said sync them, and I put the freaking ones in time
order.
I don't know
you went with the terminals. No, I wanted you sync them with Lyft and Uber side by side. But okay, it's okay. You guys will see. So this was at 8:36 p.m. or 8:36 a.m. I don't know, one or the other. However, I ordered trips to each terminal. As you guys can see, Uber X is charging me $96.97. I'm going to Terminal 3, which is Delta, then Terminal 5, which is American, then Terminal 6, which is Alaska, and then go to the next one. And Terminal 7, which is United. And if you do not pick a terminal, Uber was charging me $94.95. You guys saw the schematic of the airport, right? So can we go back one time? Can we just go back one shot to the original one? Okay. So you guys kind of figure out where Terminal 3 was. It's literally 1, Southwest, 2, Delta, 3 is Delta, right? Okay. Uber's charging $96.97. Okay. Terminal 5 American is literally around the corner or across from the second cutoff. Why is Uber charging $2 and change more? Don't know. And then Uber has the audacity on Alaska to charge. This is all these screenshots. You guys can see the time codes. They're all taken simultaneously. So why is Uber charging so much money for you to go literally from one terminal to the next terminal? So this is how Uber rips off their riders. And FYI, just because there is a $5, $6 difference almost between Delta and Alaska, you literally can walk actually faster than getting stuck in the horseshoe. And this is the problem that article put up, saying that they did the same kind of test in some airport. They put two phones side by side, and literally the terminals were next to each other. They ordered trips, and on one terminal, literally walking distance 30 feet or 100 feet from the other one, Uber was charging like 10% more. And Uber does not pay you guys, by the way, extra. So just go back one time, go back real quick. So this is the one that if you don't specify is $92.96. And no, the one on the right is that one where it says LAX International. Uber will pick your deepest spot and the horseshoe. However, Uber was charging you more for Delta than go further up, actually. So this is the shenanigans. So More Perfect Union, if you're watching this, I'm going to send you the clip of this. This is our next test. We tested, and
honestly, though, it makes sense.
We proved beyond reasonable doubt that algorithmic wage discrimination happens to the drivers. Now we're going to prove it on the rider end, because Uber rips the rider much worse than they rip the driver. And then,
okay, but in reality, at LAX, they're not. The price discrepancy, I think, is warranted.
On going from the same spot to LAX?
Yeah.
At the exact same time of the day.
Yeah, because you're going to have to, the driver is going to have to get paid more, because whether they're sitting at Terminal 1 or they got to travel all the way to Terminal 6, which is around the horseshoe. I mean, you have to spend more time in there. You have to spend more distance.
I assure you, the driver is not getting paid anything.
Doing it literally by time and distance, and a few other things, it would make sense that they would charge riders for the different terminals based on the actual length of the trip, because the length of the trip is actually extended if you're going to Terminal 6 versus Terminal 3 versus Terminal 1.
I get that.
100%. I believe it's warranted, at least in that case. Now, if you do the same thing when it comes to Buffalo, which is like a freaking eighth of a mile because there's nothing there, and you do the first one and then you do the last one, and there's like a $6 charge, that's different. That's a lot different then.
Okay, you can do that test, but when you say warranted, this is the rider pricing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going to put up the same terminals, same time of the day on Lyft.
Well, here's the thing, Sergio. Here's the thing. What's a good bar strip down in LA?
The what?
What's a good bar strip down in LA?
I don't know, anywhere in downtown.
Okay, well, go to downtown and then I want you to, along a half a mile stretch, I want you to pick 5 different bars on each one, going from the closest to your house to the furthest to your house, and see how the price is going to change. It's going to be pretty much the exact same thing. You're going to pay a few cents or a few dollars more based on the time and the distance and the length of the trip. Well, so in that case, it actually makes sense. And the fact that they do it the fact that they do it to international, when you still have a whole other part of the horseshoe, they could have just gone to like 7, 8, or 6, whatever's the most expensive. But Bradley's not actually that expensive. So honestly, in This
Well,
case,
no.
it's
If you
warranted
look
because
at
of the
United,
length of the distance.
if you look at United compared to Bradley, actually it's cheaper because you're using the first cutoff. All I'm saying to you, Chris, is this: the difference between Terminal 2 and 3, which is Delta, they're both Delta, should not be literally 100 feet of walking, should not be $4. It should not be, period. I'm not calling the difference
I
between
don't see,
Alaska, which is
yeah, but I
around
don't
the
see
horseshoe. Okay. So we're going
I
to
mean,
test it. I'm
honestly,
going
the
to test.
most you could do is 5 and 6. So
Well,
you got 5 and 6, which is a it's like $2 more to go to 6 than 2, or I mean than 5.
okay. I take your point, except that what you maybe you understand this part of it, that out of that $2-3 extra that Uber is paying, I mean Uber's charging the rider, okay? If that's warranted, they are not passing along that $2-3 difference.
Okay. Go back to my
To the
exact
driver.
situation.
To the
Go
driver.
back
They're
to the
not.
exact same thing of what I said when it comes to the bar district. I want you to pick 5 bars on the same street that are within a half mile, the same distance that it would be around the horseshoe. And I want you to do bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4, and bar 5. And I guarantee you're going to see pretty much the same exact thing on both sides, because we know that they're going to screw the driver. So we know that they're not going to pay as much. They probably are paying the driver a little bit more for on the driver's side. The only way you're going to see that is if you order the ride and the driver picks it up and you see what the driver's making, going to, Terminal 1 versus Terminal 6. That's the only way. It's the same thing.
Downtown.
What
Tomorrow
the driver's
I'm
going
downtown.
to make picking up from your house and going from bar 1 to bar 5, which is a half mile down the road, and added time. So yes, the driver will make more. You will be charged more. It only makes sense. I'm sorry, this one is not really that big of a deal, in my opinion, because you are sitting in the car for a longer distance. You should be charged more.
I disagree with you because I don't think you're picturing LAX, although you were there a couple of months ago.
I know what LAX is, and I know the horseshoe, and I know that, yes, it can be absolutely a nightmare. So, for the amount of cars that are there, for the amount of time and distance that you have to travel,
let's do this.
It actually makes sense. Again, go to the bar. I want you to go to
United.
Go to a bar.
Hold on. Let's look at United. Look at United. Go back one shot. It's there. Okay, United is Terminal Alaska. Okay, and Alaska is around the horseshoe. So between 3 and 6, okay, one is 96.87, the other one is 101.99. With the exception that if you took the cutoff, there you're not going through the horseshoe. So how is it that Uber charging $6 more using the cutoff, going right across from 3 to 6? $6 seems to me a lot for literally going across using the cutoff, not going all the way around.
I mean, but it might be, but the fact that there's a price discrepancy and it's based on
discrepancy. No. Price discrepancy was not my problem. Price discrepancy is allowed, is accepted. I accept that part. My contention is that I agree with the article that came out. These terminals are literally side by side, and the price discrepancy should be there, but it should not be at this level. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying there should be all equal. Absolutely not. There should not be this much of a price discrepancy, and that's what the article was saying. Then why is there so much price discrepancy for 100 feet of walk?
$100 to go from your house to LAX to begin with?
Well, no, that's a different ripoff because that's
what I would focus on. Why the hell does it cost $100 to go from your house to LAX?
By the way, this is not even my house. This is closer than my house to LAX. This is about 26 miles. I assure all of you who are watching this that the driver did not get paid more than $32, maybe $30, $32, $28, $32 for this trip. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind.
Hey everyone, Sergio here with the Rideshare Guy. What do we say on Show Me the Money Club? Work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, which I have been for the past year and a half, you may be working a lot harder than you need to. Let's change that. Download the app, link your account where you can manage your income, track your expenses, as well as your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more money, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download the Solo app today, Begin to work smarter, not harder. Link is in the description. Let's get back to it.
So
Probably.
not probably. I know, definitely. And
Well,
I
I
did
mean,
one of those.
unfortunately, when it comes to airport trips, the problem with airport trips is there is a ton that goes into it because everybody wants a piece of that pie, including LAX, including, whatever services and crap that are there. So there are a lot more. But I'm telling you, if you want to do something that's similar to that, you have to do the bars.
Tomorrow.
So
I'll
go
be
a
in
half
downtown.
mile to different bars and do the exact same thing because you're going to see a price discrepancy. The driver is going to get paid a little bit more. We all know that Uber and Lyft screw drivers and passengers because they're trying to get as much as they can from a passenger and as little. But at least in this case, they are, that is warranted. Like if you are driving in a car for a longer extended period because of whatever's going on within LAX, I don't care if it's a traffic jam. I mean, drivers don't want to sit there for X amount of time, but they're going to have to. So, those types of things have to be accounted into it as well, too. So, yes, it could be possible that you could see a $3 difference going around the bend at 9 o'clock or whatever time it is that you did this at.
I agree. And then I will do your test tomorrow since I'm going to be in downtown, except that I'm just contending that it should not be $6 difference across the street.
I don't think it should be $100 to go that distance.
Well, $100 is the
is.
norm. But let's go to Lyft. Let's go to the next one. It was done exactly simultaneously the same way. Same exact way. Same terminals. Lyft standard was $75 versus $100. And on this one, it was international. So international was 94 on Uber. On Lyft, it was 75. On Southwest, which is the first terminal, it was $70 versus 92. On Delta, which is 3, Uber was 96 or something like that. Lyft was 72. So, and Lyft is probably paying the driver about $30 as well. So,
now you know why. Now you know why I used Lyft when I was in LAX.
Yeah,
both times.
100% know
Uber
why.
was ridiculously more expensive at the same time. So
yeah,
if you want to look at
99,
that,
I think on Uber. On Lyft it was 74, and United is 71. I think on Uber was 92. So
yeah. So if you want to look at that, this is the issue that you should be taking. Why is it much cheaper on Lyft than it is on Uber? The time that you did it and the time that I did it, which was back in a few months ago when we were there.
This is from exactly same pickup point within literally at the same time of the day. The other thing that Lyft is doing correct, by the way. So since Alaska is before United, literally like there is, and see how the pricing is dropping on the Lyft app, 74.83 versus 71.81. Lyft is doing it the right way. And then go back to the original, the first 3. Okay, so on Southwest, which is number 1, first terminal, right, is $70.69, and to go just to all the way to the deep end of the horseshoe. By the way, if you don't pick a specific drop off, a terminal, look where Lyft picks one for you. It picks into Xiamen Airlines at International at Tom Bradley. So both apps take you to the deep end of the horseshoe if you don't pick one. So if you're going to LAX,
yeah, but that makes sense too.
Well,
like if
why didn't they pick one?
Different areas, if there's different areas where you're going, why wouldn't they pick the furthest away? It's pretty much standard across the board.
There's a little shady shit there, but
I mean, okay,
maybe
here's something.
Don't allow the rider.
Hold on.
To put anything there.
Okay, Sergio, when I have to go on the New York State Thruway, I have to pay tolls. Okay. Before you had cashless tolls, or if you didn't have Easy Pass, you got a ticket, and it told the cashier what toll you got on it, or what exit you got on it, and then where you're getting off, so you knew how much you had to pay. But if you lost your ticket, they would take the furthest away that you were, and you'd have to pay that. So this is the exact same sort of thing that is happening. It makes sense that they would pick the furthest point away because you didn't designate exactly where. So you could be at Terminal 1, but you really meant to go, or I mean, you may have to go to Bradley, but you meant Terminal 1, but you don't know. So it makes sense again that they would have to do that.
That has happened to me. That has happened to me with a-hole passengers. Their experienced Uber and Lyft users, you know what they always pick? They always pick one because that's going to be the cheapest one. And then right when I pull up, or literally maybe a quarter mile away, I get the ding. What the fuck? They change it to American. That's where they're going, actually, because now I'm screwed. So I'd be like, I thought you to drop you off at Southwest because that's what you picked. Or you will get there and they will say, "Can you? Oh, I forgot. I'm American. Can you just drive me around the horseshoe and drop me off there?" Now you're fucked as a driver.
That's
So
the
pay attention,
experienced
folks.
rider.
Yeah, and you
That's
know,
the experienced rider.
that's an experienced a-hole. That's what they are. So.
True, but you know they don't want to get ripped off either. So
No, they want to pay the cheapest fare.
It's a game of tug of war. But in actuality, like I said, if you're in the car longer, you should be paying more.
I get that. Not that much more,
100%.
in my opinion. But
the problem I see is not that they're charging more by a few dollars. What I'm seeing is the absolute price discrepancy between Uber and Lyft. And it's not just what you were doing, but also when I was there, when I priced Uber and Lyft when I was going from LAX downtown and then back downtown to LAX when I was leaving, you know, it was a massive difference. So that's why I went with Lyft both times, because it was so much cheaper. So that's the question. Why is Lyft so much cheaper? And it seems like it's something that's a regular. It doesn't seem like it's so.
That's why Lyft stock has outperformed Uber actually the last 3 months. Their pricing algo is better. They're ripping the rider off less, and they're paying the driver probably the same. I would say Lyft is probably paying 28 to 32 for that $75 trip, and Uber is paying about 30 to 35 for that $100 trip. So I will test that tomorrow. So good idea. But I want you to test it for your airport, Buffalo, which is which is literally like one row.
It's one row. It's literally like a quarter of a mile, eighth of a mile, if that. And I'll have to do the first one and the last one and see if there's a discrepancy.
No, it should be, but it shouldn't be like $10. It should be maybe $1.
It won't be like that.
Well, we'll find out. Do it. Test it. All right.
Yeah. But either way, like I say, like it makes sense that it should be like that.
I agree. I agree on that part.
But the discrepancy between Uber and Lyft is
no, this was not about discrepancy, Chris. This was about it shouldn't be that much. There should be a discrepancy, but it shouldn't be that much for 100 feet.
Okay, it shouldn't be. Well, yeah, it shouldn't be. If you extrapolate, though, the 25 miles that it takes, it shouldn't be, you know, it probably actually is. If you bring it down math terms and simplify it down, it's probably actually right in line with, you know, a few extra.
Oh, percentage wise, you mean? Percentage wise from 1 to 1 to from there. Yeah, I'll figure that out too for you.
Yeah. Because if there's a statistical significance that's different, then that might bring into account. But in reality, when it comes to the overall, you know, if you're spending $100 on a trip to go from 25 miles away to LAX, you know, that's a problem there. $4 a mile, that's crazy.
All right,
Get a taxi.
Yeah, $100.
I mean, the whole thing is, even if you take a taxi, you know, when the whole ride until you pay, you know, once that meter stops. So
it happened to me. Look, it happened to me this weekend. We were going out to a wedding. Okay. The wedding, I'm in Granada Hills. The wedding was in Glendale. Glendale is literally 16 miles away, 17 miles away. No traffic, 7 o'clock at night, Saturday. Okay. So my wife said, we should take an Uber or Lyft. I go, sure, we should do that. And so she goes, how much do you think it's going to be? I go, probably 40, 50. She goes, what? I go, yeah. What do you think it was going to be? She goes, what do you mean? It used to be like 25. I'm like, oh no, those days are gone. Chris, I priced it. I priced it $62, Chris.
On Uber. What time was it at?
7 p.m. Saturday.
Well, on a that would probably be
zero traffic.
Right.
Zero traffic. 62. 62.
Was there any surge going on?
Nope. Yeah, I'm pricing it at my house. I'm up on top of the hill. There's no surge at my house.
What was on Lyft?
About the same. About 59, 60, somewhere there. Yeah.
That's insane.
And then now I'm thinking, well, it's another 65 plus a tip, $70. Coming back, it's $150 literally to go to Glendale. It's like 18 miles away. I said, fuck this, I'm taking my car. Because putting it at the valet at $25, $30 is cheaper. I go, I'll drink, you drive on the way back. And she goes, yeah. Well, I didn't pay. I mean, $150 to go to Glendale and back? What the hell is going on?
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Full circle, baby. Full circle.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.